morning, everyone. Welcome to the third edition of the release of the white paper on the state of entrepreneurship in South Africa. This is the third year that we're doing this, and this year is particularly exciting because we're moving into a phase now where we're going to start talking about policies and specific measures that can be taken by stakeholders to foster entrepreneurship in the country. But to get this right, to get especially the fostering of high-impact entrepreneurship right, is very, very difficult and elusive. And what we've discussed last year at the summit was based on the work that Monitor did across the world and to try and structure and categorize the type of entrepreneurial communities that countries can look for. The idea would be to understand in South Africa what can be done to foster those communities and a group of high-impact entrepreneurs. The first archetype that was discussed is an archetype that Monitor called the Silicon Valley model. This is about people, academics, particularly but academics and entrepreneurs, at high-quality universities and research centers who create IP-based products and services, breakthrough IP-based products and services. What is missing is on the second point, which is the partnership, the ecosystem between these researchers and this academic community is not there. The linkages are not there. And that prevents this research and this innovation from being commercialized quickly. Third part is also around intellectual property. For this model to work, intellectual property law and understanding in the community has to come to the next level. In the sense that, and what the participant mentioned is that South Africans tend to have a sort of a very, untrusting culture around sharing the innovation, bringing in outsiders to help, bring this this innovation to bear from a commercial standpoint. The South African funder and venture capital community has been described as small and conservative, very risk averse. And then finally, it's about talent. The notion of having the best and the brightest joining small companies is also still not ingrained in South Africa so much. And it's interesting because when you look at, for example, one of the things that I always keep abreast of is, what are the hottest companies on campus? When you go to Harvard, MIT, or Berkeley or Stanford, this is about a region or a city or a particular area that sort of leverages the talent, the executive talent that resides in the organization to create great businesses.
We've done this study in over 22 countries around the world. We're hoping to include another 16 countries between now and 2014, and we'd like to make South Africa the next country in 2012. And so we'd like to do a proper assessment of the current situation in South Africa. We'd like to be able to benchmark South Africa with other countries, both developed and developing countries, and be able to identify what are the strengths and weaknesses, and understand those weaknesses at a very deep level, so that we can make some decisions about which weaknesses are important and which ones are not. Which strengths do we need to play to and which ones are not going to yield that many results. I think we can all accept in South Africa that we have a significant unemployment challenge and that entrepreneurship is one of the key drivers to dealing with unemployment, to job creation, and to fostering economic growth. By high-impact entrepreneurs, we do mean entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial businesses, or entrepreneurial sectors that have the potential to generate significant revenue, significant profits, and significant numbers of jobs. What exactly are we talking about when we talk about the benchmarking initiative or the benchmarking survey? It is a survey of entrepreneurs. We actually want to go to the entrepreneurs to understand exactly what are the experiences that they're having, what is the landscape from the entrepreneur's perspective. The survey covers a very broad range of drivers of entrepreneurship. While in South Africa there are a number of studies that have been done trying to understand the state of entrepreneurship, we haven't yet got to the stage of really being clear on what are the policy changes that we need to make, what are the actions that we need to take in order to foster entrepreneurship. And that's what we'd like to do here. We'd like to equip officials, government officials at all levels, with the tools that they need in order to have the political conversation about changing entrepreneurship. At the moment, we pay a lot of lip service, and we'd like to be able to equip our government officials with the right information and with the right tools in order to foster entrepreneurship. We see this as a 5-step process. We're currently only at stage 1 in South Africa. I think If all goes well, 4.5, 5 months to get from stage 1 to stage 5, we were at a point of actually presenting findings and starting to have detailed conversations around what are the policy changes that need to happen. And by detailed conversations, I mean with government. We're currently only at stage 1 where we are sort of localizing the survey tool, making it relevant for South Africa, and gathering support, building this collaborative platform. We've been having these conversations for a couple of months now. But we finally managed to get the presidency on board. The National Planning Commission is willing to support the initiative. We'd like to see all of the other relevant departments be involved. We're in conversation with Economic Development and shortly hoping the Trade and Industry Department. We don't see this study as something that can go forward and can have real impact without government involvement from the get-go. Without government buy into the process, an agreement that at the end of this we actually will talk about policies. We'll actually talk about what it is that we're going to do differently going forward.
It strikes me that there is an overemphasis on the need for funding, and I would say that that needs re-emphasis on the need for customers. I think that's a function of just having good product, and I'm in favour of a kind of Darwinian kind of approach. I think the different types that have been mentioned all make sense to me. I feel that perhaps family business might be missing in that lineup. I don't know what the numbers are, but I suspect there's a big part of the employment or entrepreneurial base in South Africa that is family orientated, small business that is perhaps ready to grow and can grow.
The first hurdle generally is for a country and the stakeholders in the country to understand the link between prosperity, job creation, and entrepreneurship. And I think that question has been widely understood. Job creation is not going to happen by the big corporates. They're actually shedding jobs. Prosperity and job creation only happens through new businesses that start in entrepreneurship. But, like Malika said, the needle hasn't moved as well as it could have or has moved in other similar geographies. And the big question is why that is.
And another program that we've launched recently from a major corporate perspective is an entrepreneurial internship program. I don't know if you guys heard some of that advertised. We actually have chosen our first 5 entrepreneurs who will be working with us for 6 to 9 months in an internship with Anglo that helps them to understand business and supports them in launching their businesses. If you look at success around the world, what I see is missing in South Africa are those large impact entrepreneurships that create hundreds and thousands of jobs. We've got a lot of people who think they know what needs to be done and a lot of information. But getting down to the facts, like what the Monitor Group will do on the specifics, and then getting it into action from a collaborative perspective, I think will make a huge difference. So I'm an advocate of South Africa being the next one to participate in the next wave of REAP, because what I saw in the 8 countries that were participating in the session that I observed in Boston, it was really, really valuable to take that and to go forward. Nobody in Africa is doing this. And this is a clear opportunity for South Africa to take leadership in this area across Africa.
So in terms of negative attitudes around entrepreneurial activity, I still think there's almost a need for the safety of a corporate, the safety of getting a regular salary, of shying away from it. So a lot of people that I interact with, entrepreneurs, some people who are budding entrepreneurs looking to start something, are always stuck in that phase. And I think that's probably the most negative. There are lots of opportunities out there. I mean, the ubiquity of cell phones, of IT, those opportunities are just not being fleshed out.